Video number 115 from MythoReligio series, Book 6, History of the Monotheist Holy Scriptures. Is there one God, or are there many gods? Dear fellow truth seekers, in my last video, number 114, I have shared an analysis that proves the existence of God using various scientific principles. Even though generally it is believed that religion cannot be in harmony with science, actually using science we are able to prove the necessity of the existence of an intelligent designer, or a supernatural power that is beyond the laws of physics of the universe, or in other words, God. Let me summarize quickly. Please watch the previous video for the detailed explanation. The Doppler Effect. In 1842, Christian Doppler, an Austrian mathematician and physicist, confirmed that the sound's pitch increased as the sound approached him and decreased as the sound source moved away from him. Based on this principle, scientists record light from galaxies on a strip of film. If the galaxy is moving away from our galaxy, the lines in the spectrum will be shifted towards the red end of the spectrum. This is called the red shift. The red shift. In 1912, Festus Slifer, an American astronomer, measured the first Doppler redshift of a spiral galaxy and discovered that almost all such galaxies were moving away from Earth. Big Bang Theory. In 1927, Georges Lemaitre, Belgian Roman Catholic priest and professor of physics and astronomy, predicted that the movement away of the galaxies was due to the expansion of the universe. And in 1931, he went further and suggested that the universe began as a simple primeval atom. This prediction of Georges Lemaitre became what we call the Big Bang Theory today. And today, this theory is the dominant and most reliable scientific explanation for the origin of the universe, the strongest evidence supporting it. According to the Big Bang Theory, the universe was created sometime around 13.8 billion years ago from a cosmic explosion that hurled matter in all directions. This theory was not immediately accepted by all scientists. In the 1950s and 1960s, some proposed that the universe has no beginning and no end. In 1964, the CMB, or cosmic microwave background, microwave radiation that fills all space in the observable universe, was discovered. The CMB is the cooled remnant of the hot Big Bang explosion that fills the entire universe. This radiation is invisible to humans. But by the 1990s, with advances in telescope technologies such as COBE, Cosmic Background Explorer, WMAP, Wilkinson Microwave Anisotropy Probe, and Planck, cosmologists had fairly precise measurements of many parameters of Big Bang Theory. So, most scientists today agree that the universe was born out of the Big Bang and had a beginning. The universe is not beginningless. It must have started from nothing, and it is expanding. Although scientists still do not know what has caused it. The energy required to split the primordial atom is so immense that nothing in the natural world could be its cause. There are two theories that can be used to prove that the universe is finite and has a beginning: the Olbers Paradox and the Laws of Thermodynamics. The Olbers Paradox. By using Olbers Paradox, we can conclude that the universe is finite. Because if the universe is infinite, eternal, and static, no matter which direction we look, our line of sight will eventually intersect a star or another bright object, so the sky should be as bright as the surface of the sun all the time. In reality, the sky is neither always bright nor totally dark, which means the universe is not infinite. The thermodynamics. By using the law of thermodynamics, we can conclude that the universe has a beginning. Because if the universe is finite but still has no beginning, or is eternal, or in mathematical terms infinite, the universe would be a dead universe for a long time. This would have happened because when all the hydrogen that constitutes the vast majority of the mass of stars has been converted into helium and other heavier elements in the process of continuous nuclear reactions, the stars would collapse and end up as cold, dead bodies. And in reality, billions of stars are still alive today, which means the universe is not eternal. It has a beginning. After we concluded that the universe is finite and had a definite beginning, we analyzed further whether that beginning was caused by an intelligent supernatural power or by mere chance. Is the universe created by a creator or mere chance? The law of conservation of matter states that matter cannot be created nor destroyed, and yet the universe exists out of nothing. The universe appears miraculously, so to speak. Therefore, it is only rational to say that the universe was created by a power that is above and independent of the laws of physics as we know them. That power is clearly not restricted or confined to the basic laws of physics, but is far superior. The laws of probabilities. There are endless examples of precision and beautiful designs in the universe. Every field of scientific knowledge seems to testify to the existence of a master creator. The universe cannot be created by chance or accident. A fitting quote here is that of an American biologist and zoologist, Professor Edwin Conklin, who stated that the probability of life originating from accident is comparable to the probability of the unabridged dictionary resulting from an explosion in a printing shop. The constants. The constants of nature are the fundamental ways of physics that apply throughout the universe, such as gravity, the velocity of light, electromagnetism, and quantum mechanics. We have no other explanation for these precise values of the constants but to admit they are designed by an intelligent designer. The mechanical argument. The mechanical argument is also a support of the concept of a creator. For every action, there is a reaction equal to it and opposite in direction. Everything that has moved was moved by something else. If you go back in time, tracing everything to its original mover, we would ultimately arrive at that which was not moved by anything else, right before the Big Bang when nothing existed. This analysis will also lead us to the unavoidable conclusion that there is an initial creator. Macro-micro pattern. There is so much symmetry in the universe that it is hard to take it all in. But one particular design has special appeal, and that is the macro-micro pattern. If you look at the universe at large, we find that it is composed of vast areas of empty space and other regions containing shapeless matters in the form of hot gases, dark matter, and stars. These stars group together to form galaxies. Our galaxy, the Milky Way, is within no less than 100 billion individual stars. Our star, the Sun, has planets in orbit around it. Most of these planets have several moons orbiting them. The basic force that governs the movement of all these bodies is gravity. The moons rotate around their planets, which all rotate around the mother star, which in our case is the Sun. Similarly, all these stars revolve around the center of gravity of the galaxy. Galaxies group together to form clusters of galaxies, and once again, individual galaxies orbit the cluster center of gravity. Clusters group together to form superclusters, and these obey the same laws. These are the greatest units in the universe as we know it today. When we proceed in the opposite direction, we notice that the similarity is truly remarkable. If we examine the atom, which is the smallest form of substance able to exist in a chemical reaction, we find that it is composed of electrons revolving around a nucleus in the same way as stars revolve around the center of gravity of their galaxies. Are we but seeing the fingerprints of the Creator? The more we advance along the path of science in all directions, micro and macro, the arguments for an intelligent designer become increasingly eloquent. The origin of the laws of nature and the precise values of the constants could never have occurred without life necessitating intelligent design. Without an external cause, i.e. the supernatural power of what we call God, the Big Bang and the creation of life in the universe are impossible. The only logical hypothesis by studying nature is that an intelligent being created the heavens and the earth, and this being cannot be human or like anything in the natural world. When analyzed logically, the God hypothesis emerged as a factual reality. This, in essence, is pure science. Thus, looking at the facts that nature provides us leaves us with only two options. 1. See it or acknowledge the proof based on science, or 2. Ignore or reject it, which will be the same as abandoning science itself. If we accept that the creation of the universe must have been the work of a supreme intelligent power, we are faced with another puzzle, and that is, how many gods are there? Is God one, or could there be more than one God? Here, the reference is made to some basic word definitions. The words absolute and relative are straightforward in their meaning. Anything relative is that which can be compared to or related to other things. Whenever we describe an object, we are always describing it in relation to other things. On the other hand, an absolute is that which is self-existent and conceivable without relation to other things. Everything in the universe is relative. For every adjective we attach to anyone or anything, for example, big, there is always something bigger than it. Nothing is absolute in life. For example, an athlete is a very fast runner compared to a road pedestrian, but it is indeed very slow compared to a motor car, and so on until it becomes clear that anything we see in life is relative because there will always be something that is cooler, bigger, older, etc. If we go back to our Big Bang theory, we realize that what brought it about must have been a power above all the laws of physics governing the universe. When scientists study the evolution of the universe, they trace it back to the moment of creation, or the Big Bang. But when they reach that point, they find that all the laws of physics cease to exist. Had they considered the same situation in reverse, they would have realized that the Big Bang was the moment when all the laws of physics actually came into being. We have also noted that the force that brought about the Big Bang, and in effect the creation of the universe, could not have been related to this universe in any physical sense, for it is clearly the cause and not the effect of the universe. Since this supreme power is the cause, it must have existed prior to and independently of the universe. Thus, we can say that nothing in this universe can be related to that supreme power. And if nothing can be compared or related to that power, then by definition that power is absolute. The absolute God means nothing is like or akin to him. Or if we were to consider the possibility of the existence of more than one God, immediately the question will arise as to which God came first, which God is more powerful, and so on. And that would ultimately reduce these gods to being relative because comparisons will arise. If God is absolute, by definition, God must be one. Furthermore, if the universe were controlled by more than one God, then each God would fight for dominancy as confirmed in the Hindu and Greek epics. Indeed, in all polytheist teachings, there are stories about the gods fighting among themselves for dominion. No matter how fascinating and enchanting these stories are, they do not align with empirical science. If all the gods were truly fighting for dominance, the whole universe would be in total chaos. Yes, there is chaos in the earth, but that is caused by humans, not by nature. Any chaos caused by nature always returns to balance itself, because nature always follows the basic laws of physics. We know that whenever a ruler of a country changes, there are always some alterations in the country's policy. That must be the case if the universe is ruled by many gods. Imagine what would happen if each of the ruling gods decides to change the force of Earth's gravity, the rotation of the sun, or the neutral pH of water. I hope nobody will take the following statement as an offense. I find it very difficult to accept that sometimes the actions of the gods in all the polytheist religions that we know are not of good example. For instance, the supreme ruler of the Greek gods Zeus killed Cronus, his father, to gain power. Zeus was married to his own sister, Hera, and he still had many other wives who were willingly married to him or even raped by him. I'm sorry, but I just cannot believe that this kind of stories are truly the true stories of our universe. These kinds of similar stories exist in all polytheist religions. Yes, I understand that these stories are supposed to be allegorical, but sometimes they're not good examples. God could not have looked like humans either, even if God is described as a giant human. For if God looks like humans, he would be comparable to humans. Indeed, the gods in the polytheist religions are described as comparable to humans with human attributes, although always better. These gods will always be relative and not absolute. This is against empirical science. Science has proven that there is only one original source, one original force, one God. To me personally, this means I can rule out the choice of being an atheist, agnostic, or polytheist, since these groups are not in accordance with the aforementioned scientific proof. Personally, after studying the information I have shared with you in video number 113 and 114, so far, my path to find the truth has left me with only monotheism. Although I know that some teachings of polytheism are in accordance with science, Scholars have found amazing scientific information hidden in between the fascinating epics of the Rig Veda, one of the religious books of the Hindus. For example, Hinduism estimates the age of the earth at 4.3 billion years, which is very close to conventional estimates today. I have also read books about the Buddhist teachings concerning the power of the focused mind and the importance of staying in the now, Zen Buddhism teaching, that may also be proven scientifically, most likely using the laws of quantum mechanics. Yes, I'm also aware that there are some sects in Hinduism that teach that all the gods are actually only aspects of the one God. This group of Hindus may be categorized as monotheists as well. And although generally Buddhists do not believe in or teach about God, they actually believe there are supernatural figures who can help or hinder people on the path towards enlightenment. So, clearly, Buddhism cannot be categorized as monotheism. I hope I'm not offending anyone by saying the following. I'm looking for the whole truth. To me, partial truth is not the truth, especially when dealing with the truth concerning God and religion. So, for now, based on the scientific analysis in search of God, only monotheistic religion, i.e. the belief in one creator God, has the chance of being correct. We will talk more about the teachings of Hinduism and Buddhism and go into further analysis of the correlation between polytheistic and monotheistic religions, which is surprisingly even more intertwined than most people realize in my later book of books and videos. But at the moment, let's stick to the monotheistic religions first. So, how can we search for the truth? We know that the history of religions, all religions, especially the monotheist religions, is full of bloody fights and wars. Although this does not necessarily mean that the teachings are wrong. It just proves that the followers of these religions can be violent, right? Can we really analyze a religion's teaching through the actions of its followers? I believe not. I believe the way to analyze a religion's teachings is to read its scripture. Dear fellow truth seekers, in my next video, I will go into further detail into the religious scriptures of the three major monotheistic religions in the world, i.e. Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. In the meantime, thank you for watching and I hope to see you in my next video.